Hello everybody. Right. Yeah, your screen's not broken, it is red. As 2018 draws to a close, myself and Matt have decided to bring you something a little bit different this evening. We'll get to that in a few moments, but first of all, before we start, I just wanted to get a little bit mushy and chuck some thanks up, as this is my last video of 2018. So, Wallace and all the staff at Skirmish Airsoft in Budby near Mansfield, Nottinghamshire. Thanks for putting up with myself, Matt, Steph, Chris, Mark, and all the other weirdos that we've brought with us for this year, and letting us get away with probably more than we should do. We will be back in 2019 fairly early on. Patrol Base, thank you for all the speedy delivery and actually having 90% of what we was after in stock, and at fair prices. We will be ordering again from you a lot in 2019 as well. Ramsey, or some of you know him as the Purple Helmet, thank you, dude, for all your help, your hints, your tips, and basically tutoring me through my first year of getting things going on YouTube. Not going too bad now, but yeah, thanks for that, dude. Matt, and again, you lot know him as Spectre as well. Thank you, dude, for all your taxiing me about, giving me extra bloody work to do, and research, and help with the filming as well, and the use of your tripod, helpful. And lastly, for now, Mr. Mark Walker, selling me so much stuff, bits and bobs, surplus guns and stuff like that, which has allowed me to build crazy things and actually do reviews on guns that I didn't previously had. So, yeah, you lot, thank you very much for my first year on YouTube being a good one. I say first year, it's been about 6 months, I think, total of actually been properly using YouTube. And yeah, more to come in 2019. So without further ado, I will shut up talking and allow you to watch the video me and Matt filmed a week or so ago. Speak to you soon. Hello, everybody. You may,
Mr. Sock.
It's Mr. Sock. You may notice there is an empty seat there. That's because I'm acting cameraman tonight for him.
Hello.
Because of that. Now, yeah, it's big. I mean, it starts there and ends over there somewhere, in amongst the rubble of my airsoft building madness. Show him the metal thing that connects to it.
Right.
Cue the shark music. You may already have guessed what this is.
Yeah. It's a big metal box. This is the magazine for it.
Very big metal box.
Works as well.
Then show them the other thing.
Ah. The hurty thing.
The hurty thing. That won't pass chrono.
No. This will pass clear through chrono.
And the tree behind it. And the person behind that tree.
To give you an idea, that's a 6mm BB.
Oh dear.
Here's an empty casing from one of those rounds, and the BB will go straight into it, with room to spare.
Go on, now tell them for the calibre, because some people out there who will be watching this do know a little bit about calibres. What calibre does this thing shoot in?
This shoots in 303 English. This is a dummy round. Before any of you get excited, as you can see the impact there from the firing pin.
It's spent.
It's spent. Yes, so this has been glued together, I think, for reenactment and just generally looking cool purposes. So this is a 303 English round used by the British Army for many, many years. And it goes into this particular gun, which, are we ready?
I will zoom back out. There we go.
Right. Sound
Move
effects department.
that net! Swish!
Yeah. Sound effects department, drum roll, please. Ta-da!
Would have worked better if you didn't get it stuck.
Yeah. Which idiot?
Answers on the postcard
Postcode?
below, yeah, for what that is. Send it to
I don't give a damn.
Thin Brown Line at ID0 Care.
Yeah. This, for those of you that haven't already guessed, is a Bren gun. This is actually my Bren gun. It is deactivated. Don't worry.
It's that deactivated you couldn't make the bloody thing fire if you tried.
No. Yeah, it's a very big paperweight. It is a Bren gun Mark II to be precise. Now,
and it has been used for reenactment purposes by us.
yes.
It was heavy.
Yes, it was blooming heavy. Anyway, I have some notes. So, the Bren is a licensed version of a Czech-built gun, the ZGB-33, which in itself was a development of the ZB-26, which, for those of you with money to burn after Christmas, you can buy off a certain airsoft website. It is a very...
I'll put a link up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Or down here. Or something.
And I have actually looked at it because I would really love to have an airsoft version of this.
It's not as heavy.
It's just not as heavy, no. The ZB-26 does look fairly similar. There are some differences.
Straight mags.
Yeah. The ZB-26 has a straight mag as opposed to the banana.
Bit like an M14 style mag, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also on the top. So there's also a dirty, great big wheel on the side, which was actually on the Bren gun Mark 1. But anyway, moving on with the script. The Bren, or the name Bren, is a contraction of the two manufacturers that made it. BR stands for Bruno, which is the Czech manufacturer of the ZGB-33, and EN is from Enfield, who were the guys in England that built it under licence. That's where you get Bren from. This little baby was a replacement for the Lewis gun, which, if you've seen it in all the World War I films, was the one with the big pan on the top. The Lewis had several problems. It was heavy, heavier than this thing, prone to stoppages, and the barrel was an absolute steward to be changed out in the field.
It had a water jacket, didn't it? The Lewis. No, I'm thinking older. Don't matter.
No, you're thinking of the Vickers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Yes.
Cameraman knows nothing.
We do try and ignore him. Right. They did actually use the other one, the Vickers, for actually making tea.
Yes, because you boiled it.
Water in the jacket. Yeah.
5 sunny rounds, it boils the water.
Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on. This gun was designed in the 1930s. It was introduced in the Mark I, which had a couple of noticeable differences. There was a dirty, great big wheel on the side of it. The rear sight here was different. It's obviously missing on the Mark II because it doesn't have it. The Mark II came about in 1941. It was a much simpler version, simpler in terms of manufacturing. You had the Mark III that came along in 1944, which was shorter and lighter. Then after that you had the Mark IV, and then in 1958 they changed it to what they called the L4 or LMG, and this was chambered in our good friend NATO 762. The L4s, which are Bren guns, just calibered in that lovely NATO round, actually saw action in the 1982 Falklands War. Each section would carry one GPMG and one of these. And its final operational deployment was actually in the 1991 Gulf War conflict. So all those of you that don't think it was around that long, go and do your research, because it was. Just chambered in 762. Right, the Bren itself is a gas-operated gun. So the cameraman can wake up and zoom in. The bullet will stop somewhere about there, and most of this area here will be full of the explosive. And basically, as that little bit goes out that way through the kitchen wall, all the gases get recycled out the barrel and push the bolt back like that. And then the firing pin, the trigger releases all that mechanism, and it takes in the next one, and off we go again. So,
wait, cameraman has to play.
One day you're going to do that, and it's going to break your kitchen table.
Oh dear.
Right. So as I said, they use the 303. So you'll have seen this in things like the Lee Enfield rifle. These also were used in some of the machine guns that were used in aircraft such as the Lancaster Bomber, the Spitfire, the Hurricane, the Mosquito, any British aircraft of that era. 303. The 303 cartridge itself is a 7.7 by 56mm rimmed cartridge, which is why you end up with a magazine like that, because when they that's where they went. When they stack up in the magazine, if the cameraman comes in, so you've got one in there. I'm saying how old this mag is. That spring is still very stiff. As you can see, as the bullets stack up in there, the rim on them makes the bullets curve, whereas your later 7.62s aren't a rimmed cartridge. The actual arse end of the bullet casing is actually recessed so that you don't need the rim. This particular cartridge was first used in December 1888 for the Lee Motford rifle. That is how long, and these are still being used. These are still manufactured even today. I do actually have a Lee Enfield at home, a real one, and you can still buy these with the appropriate licenses, of course. The bullet will leave the end of the barrel at least 2,500 feet per second, depending on the bullet weight. Some of the lighter weight bullets will actually leave at around 2,700 feet per second.
And whoever it hits will take their hit.
Oh yeah. The 303 bullet is actually notorious for, once it enters a target, of actually tumbling. So yeah, they will take their hit. And as we said earlier, these don't pass chrono. They pass right through it.
They also won't get back up from their hit.
No. No, you will cut down on repeat players. The rate of fire in this gun is around the 500 rounds a minute mark.
Which is actually slower than a lot of our airsoft guns.
Yes. Our airsoft guns don't have to work quite as hard as this baby does. So, as I said earlier, the Bren Mark II came into service in 1941. The first variants. This variant is actually a 1944 version of the Mark II. It weighs 22.83 pounds, which in new money is 10.35 kilos.
And it fills every bit that much.
That's empty, by the way. When you stick 30 of those in it, which is what that magazine takes, it goes up to 25 pounds, which is 11.25 kilos. Length is 42.9 inches from there to there. That's 1.156 millimetres. The barrel itself is a 25-inch barrel, which is 635 millimetres long. Gas operated, effective range 600 yards, 550 metres. The sight on it does go up to a lot more than that. The magazine, you would have two options. There is the classic banana box mag, designed to hold 30 rounds. Actually, the British forces very soon realised that it was not a good idea to load it with 30 rounds, because the spring, although this one seems to be plenty strong enough, would actually jam if you put 30 in, which is not a good thing when, as Corporal Jones from Dad's Army would say, the fuzzy wuzzies are coming. So what they used to do was load it with 27 or 28 rounds, and that would cut down on the jamming. Also, they had a 100-round pan mag, which would sit on the top. I don't have one. There is a YouTube video of one, which is worth looking at.
If we can find it, we'll link it in the description below so you can have a look at one in action with a massive mag.
Yeah. So that's a brief bit about the actual history of the Bren gun as a whole, and we'll start doing some close-ups of various bits. There is actually a YouTube video. Somebody has actually made one of these, and it looks real. It was shot in Scotland, I think.
Not a very good quality video, if it's the one I've seen.
No, it's an old video, but it is worth seeing. So do go and...
We'll link that and all.
So, anyway, on to 14T4811, which is the serial number of this gun.
Which is... Oops, when I get out in the own light. Somewhere.
Somewhere there.
Let's try and... there we go.
There she is.
Here we go.
Yeah, let me be cameraman, because I know where most of the things are. Right, so there we have its main marking. So you've got Bren Mark II up here. You've got the year it was made, which was 1944. Now, some of you will have noticed that that doesn't say Enfield. That says Inglis. These were the guys in Canada that actually manufactured these for the British government, as they were part of the Empire at the time. They didn't half help us out a little bit because the Germans weren't flattening their factories. Where are all the other markings on this thing?
That was the chair, don't worry.
Yeah. So, somewhere around there, yeah, you have got your auto, safe and single fire.
Repetition.
Or repetition, yes, or whatever it is.
Does it still function?
Yes, it still functions. You do have to charge the bolt first, but it does only fire single action now. Then this little lever here, get out the way, handle. Would you do the honours? This little lever here, under the... This lever here is actually the barrel release lever. When a guy went into action with one of these, he would actually carry spare barrels. The idea was that you would undo that, that would flip up, and you could literally twizzle. There's a nut on the other side of here. You would twist that, and the whole barrel would literally just lift out, and you would slot a new one in if you overshot the barrel. So there's your rear sight.
I'll show the markings.
Obviously adjusted for range with the barrel sight. So obviously moving forward, we've got the cocking handle on this side. It's on the right hand side, so if you were a left-hander you had to shoot right-handed for the duration. That still works, as you've seen. Going forward, got a sling mount there. Makes some of the airsoft ones look a bit sick, doesn't it? What the cameraman probably won't be able to see, so I shall turn her over. This point here, I'll use my pointer, this point here, and going to the back of the gun at this point here, are for mounting these on either sort of ground sort of tripods for defending a fixed position, or even anti-aircraft positions. These would basically be a tripod that would go up to about 7 foot. You bolt this thing on and you could defend fixed positions from anti-aircraft as an anti-aircraft gun. Obviously, bipod on the front. So if you were in your foxhole, you could stick it on the lip and fire back. Obviously barrel, front sight, little conical flash hider. Yeah, some dirt in there. Right, this was once a real gun. So I'll take you through what somebody has done to it to make it compliant with regulations. Barrel has been cut off. Ball bearing has been jammed in the barrel welded back up. This part of the where you would undo the barrel, all been welded up. There's a gas port on the back of the barrel that has been welded up. The barrel release lever has also been welded, so you can't take that off anymore. And then all the other juicy bits have been done on the inside. Now, to disassemble the Bren, you pull that pin out as far as it will go, so you don't lose it. It won't go through the second hole.
Nothing.
No, I wouldn't. So there's the under part of your gun. You can see the trigger mechanism there. Your dust cover would slide, and obviously as the gun operates, chuck that forward. So as you can see, something's been cut away from there by the look of it. What else have we got? Oh dear. Amazingly, this is still covered in oil.
That's the bolt.
That's the bolt and the carriage. I don't know whether the cameraman can see up in there.
You can see the... Let's see if I can get this in there.
That's what she said last night. Arse end of the barrel has been welded up. That would be where the bullet would go. That's all now solid metal. And
you can see the heat lines from where they've cut the bolt off anyway.
yeah, well, you can see in the lower receiver there, that's been cut through. There was actually a whole gas, there should be more on the end of that. It's all part of the gas system. That's gone. That's obviously been cut back as well. I mean, that in itself is a kilo or two. Obviously there would have been a firing pin there at some point in time, as you can tell by the heat markings.
Been ground off.
Yeah, that's been ground off. Somebody's initials and a year, so that may have been the year.
There's also some on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, well, those will probably be original ones, but that one said 96, so I'm guessing that was the year it was deactivated. Yes. I do actually have a book on the Bren gun at home. Couldn't find it when I was doing the research for this, but it explains all the markings, different manufacturers, as well as Enfield and Inglis. I think there was another manufacturer as well, Canadian. From looking at this gun, it's got bits from 3 different manufacturers on it, so I'm guessing it didn't leave the factory in that condition.
Probably a parts gun.
Well, the guy I bought it off many moons ago actually said there was a rumour it was on D-Day, and it was arguably built at the right time, so it will have seen some service somewhere. So yes, ladies and jelly spoons, that is the British light machine gun known as the Bren. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see what other goodies we can get for you in the near future.
Normal service will resume next video.
Normal? On this channel?
Thanks for watching.
Bye!